friends, welcome back to my channel, Planty Princess 92. My name is Ashley, and in today's video we are going to be doing a Happy Holidays video. So this is essentially there's 5 weeks in December, so this is going to be a 5-week series where once a week I'm going to be hauling, which is where I get the Happy Holidays from. I'm going to be hauling a genus of plants. Each week the genus will be different, and I will be basically showing you each variety of that plant that I have in my collection. So for the first week of Happy Holidays, it is going to be Epipremnums. Now, I didn't realize this till actually I was going to make this video and was searching up some of the plants that I have here. I didn't realize that all of the more common pothos that we know, like the neon pothos, the standard Jade Pothos, the golden pothos, the NJoy, and so on and so on, I didn't realize that they were actually all classified under Epipremnum aureum. I thought that was only the scientific name for the golden pothos. So that's when I realized that this would be a great genus to start with, because I do have pretty many varieties of Epipremnum. Now, they are all Epipremnum aureum varieties except for I have one Epipremnum Pinnatum. But without any further ado, let's just get right into this Happy Holidays. So I'll start off with my first Epipremnum, and now this was actually my first Pothos plant, or my first Epipremnum plant that I brought into my collection. And as you can see here, it is just your standard Jade Pothos. It does have a couple really long trailers, which I'm super excited about. Now, this did have a few more, but I did propagate them, put them back into the top. And what I think is super neat is some of my Pothos or Epipremnum have started to send other runners off of, one vine. I've read somewhere that it's rare that they do that, and I don't know if that's true or not, but a couple of my vines on a couple of my Epipremnum are starting to do that. So whether it's rare or not, I'm super excited because that will make the plant more full, and I really do love the way that looks. What I really love about just your standard Jade Pothos is just how easy care it really is. And although, it's just green, it really is simply beautiful. It's simple, and that's what makes it so beautiful. It definitely is great to add to any space because you can put it in a corner. It doesn't need a lot of light. It can tolerate very low light levels and still grow really well. Of course, the lower the light, the slower it will grow, but I have it in a corner under a grow light, and as you can see here, she is growing really nicely. We will move on to the second Pothos or Epipremnum that I got in my collection. Now, I only know that I got the Jade first and this one second because they were amongst the first plants that I brought into my plant collection period when I started having growing plants as a hobby. But anyways, it is your lovely Hawaiian Pothos, or I'm sorry, this is not the Hawaiian. The Hawaiian does look very much like the golden Pothos, which this is, but the leaves are very much really larger. So this is the golden Pothos. And I love that, again, like the Jade Pothos, it's very simple with very elegant streaks of that yellowy gold color. Now, this one I have, as you can see here, it's growing fully hydroponic, and it has really been doing so well like that. As I mentioned previously, Epipremnum and Pothos in general are just super easy care plants, so they really can handle many different growing mediums, many different conditions and environments, and will grow like a weed. This plant actually my grandmother gave to me, and she gave it to me like this, so I kept it growing like this because it was really just growing so nicely. And this is just another one of the very beautiful Epipremnum. I will move on to, we'll get a little funky. So this is Epipremnum Shangri, also known as the Godzilla Pothos. What I really love about this pothos is how crinkly the leaves are. So they come out that way and they stay all curled up like that, and it looks super, super neat. Sometimes they even start to open a little bit, like this one here. If I can get it, like this one here. But as you see, it still has that crinkle to it and that curve where it kind of still wants to be a little bit closed. This one is also starting to branch off, if you can see it right here. It's growing a new leaf at the tip and also branching off over here. So I'm super, super excited. This does come in a variegated form, which is called the Shangri Ooh La La, which is definitely on my wish list, but that's a whole nother video in its own. I do really love, love, love the texture of this plant. It is a little bit of a slow grower, but it's definitely worth the wait because it is a very unique plant and adds a lot of character to the space you place it. We'll move on to one of my newer varieties, the Epipremnum Manjula Pothos. I really love the way the variegation is in this pothos. It's almost like a marble queen, but a little more spunky. So it has a lot of bigger splotches of that green and kind of just swooshes along the leaf, and I really, really love the way that looks. So let me find one here. So this one is perfect. It's almost like it's a painting. I love the way this one has that beautiful variegation, but has those big patches of the green where it just swooshes across the leaf. They're so beautiful. The variegation is very stable, but it's very dramatic and different on every single leaf, which is also really neat. It's definitely far from simple, and it is very, very vibrant with its variegation. Again, as all the others, very easy care. To keep this variegation going strong and scattered more across the leaf, you definitely want to provide this one with a little higher light, especially because the variegation is white and the white parts of those leaves don't photosynthesize. It will definitely appreciate a little higher of a light situation. We will move next to my NJoy Pothos. Now this is, I think, my biggest, this is definitely my biggest Epipremnum that I have, hands down. I got it pretty long, but it has grown a good foot since I got it as well. So as you can see here, she's really, really nice and full. And if we just keep going, she finally ends. I love how full this plant is, and I really love the variegation as well. Again, with the white, a little brighter light is perfect for this girl. I have her in an east-facing window, and she does really just fine. Now that it's winter though, you probably want to pull your plants out of the window. The only reason I have this still hanging in the window, if you saw my Winterness Ready video, is because her leaves aren't actually touching the window. Now if I do start to notice her declining, I will definitely pull her out, but we are not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about this beautiful, beautiful lady. So this plant has very big splotches of green, normally towards the center, sometimes scattered throughout the leaf as well, but then it's lined mostly with big patches of white variegation or creamy variegation as well. This plant is super easy to care for, as them all, but I really love the almost like greenish gray variegation this plant has in its leaves as well. It's just really so beautiful. This is one of my favorites because it is so big, but it always gets tangled and I'm constantly untangling this beauty. Anyways, moving on, now that we talked about that NJoy Pothos, we are going to talk about one that looks very, very similar, but is actually not cultivated, I guess, from the NJoy Pothos. It's actually cultivated from the Marble Queen Pothos, and you can also see some of those characteristics in it as well. This plant was cultivated in a University of Florida lab. And as I said, it was cultivated from the Marble Queen Pothos, which I also have right here in front of me. And you can really start to see the variegation from the Marble Queen in the white variegated spots. So now this plant looks very, very similar to the NJoy Pothos. But the difference is that this is a really perfect leaf to show you. As you can see in the white areas here, it has a bunch of spots of green. So that's the major difference between the two, the Pearls of Jade, and it looks very similar to the NJoy, but again comes from the Marble Queen. But that's the difference between the NJoy and the Pearls of Jade, is that the white variegation has that speckled through the white variegation. Also, these leaves, as you can see here, are very much smaller than your standard Pothos or Epipremnum leaf, and that's the main difference. This is just a little cutting my aunt gave me, so I'm just starting her out, but she has a nice little growth point coming in right at the tip of my pointer, and I'm super excited to see how she continues to grow. So we will move on to, since I just showed you that, we will move on to the Marble Queen, which that plant originally kind of derived off of. This is the one and only Marble Queen Pothos. She has a lot of speckled, splashy white variegation throughout her green leaves. I really, really love that. I think my favorite characteristic of this plant, though, is definitely the leaves that are half moon leaves, but are half green on one side and then half that speckled spotted variegation on the other. So like, for instance, this one right here. That is so beautiful and I love it so much. This plant is really just, it really does have a personality of its own. It's just so outgoing and so beautiful. You can place it anywhere to add a little pop of liveliness to your home, and again, with that easy care, it can really go anywhere and do just fine. This one I noticed though too is also a slow grower for me. It just started getting vines long enough to kind of start to trail. I've had this plant maybe for a good 6 to 8 months, so I have had it for a while, and it was bushy like this when I first got it, but it didn't have anything hanging over the edge like it does now. It was just pretty much really just at the top here. So it did grow a noticeable, substantial amount, but nothing like, you know, the Jade Pothos or even the Golden Pothos. But it's definitely beautiful. Last but not least, I have my Epipremnum Variegatum. This was my most recent Epipremnum addition to the family. So as you can see here, if you saw, I did a DIY pot decor video where I decorated a nursery pot to kind of upcycle nursery pots and still make them look pleasing to the eye. So check out that video if you didn't see it. This pot looks super cute with the plant in it. I think it really looks nice with the variegation of this plant. Anyways, as you can see here, this plant is starting to mature. It is starting to get the holes in its leaves. And I really can't wait till it starts fenestrating throughout the whole leaf. They get fenestrations kind of like the Monstera or the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. So I'm super, super excited to see this plant when it starts to really fenestrate. This is a really beautiful half moon leaf, As you can see, the tip kind of started to brown there, so I had to cut that off. Again, another half moon leaf that also started to brown, so I just cut that off as well. But again, like the Marble Queen, I love how this was a half moon with the green side a little variegated and then the other side super white. It's so beautiful. And then I have my newest leaf coming in. It's a little tinier than the rest, but this girl is taking forever to unfurl, let me tell you. She's been growing and unfurling for like 2 weeks now, and I mean growing for longer than that, but she's been unfurled like this for at least a week going on 2 weeks. I don't know what is taking her so long, and there's not much more to her leaf, as you see here. Like, I can literally unroll it and that's the rest of the leaf. But when you unfurl a leaf too soon, it's very susceptible to sunburn, and although I only have her under a grow light, I still do not want to take that chance because that side of the leaf is more variegated. So I will wait patiently for you, my lady. Hurry up though, I want to see you unfurled. So anyways, that is the Epipremnum Variegatum, and that does finish up my Happy Holidays plant haul for today. Thank you guys again for watching another video. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of this series, and I hope you're interested in seeing the rest of the plant hauls I am going to bring to you in the following weeks. As always, don't forget to jingle that like button, comment and subscribe if you're interested in the content I provide, and as always, every plant's a princess. Bye!